Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to be working on majority element. And in the problem, you're given an array of size n, and you want to return the majority element. The majority element is the one that appears the most. And it has to appear more than n over 2 times. So in this first example, it's 3. It appears 2 times out of 3. And in the second example, it's a 2. It appears 4 times out of 7. So a really easy solution is just get a count of every single one of these and return the one that appears the most, right? So like for this example, you'd say, okay, 2 appears once, 3 appears twice, 3 appears the most, let me return that. Similarly, same here, 1 appears 3 times, 2 appears 4 times, let me return 2. But there's another kind of like cool trick that you can use, and it's called, I think, the Moyer-Bohr voting algorithm, and you can do this for more than one element, but for one element, it's really easy. And essentially, the algorithm is pretty unintuitive, but the algorithm basically has, you have a current element and you have a count. And as you go through elements, you check, is my, the element that I'm on, is it the same as my current element? If it is, let's increment the count. And if it's not, let's decrement the count. And anytime the count goes negative, you want to swap your current element to the element you currently have and change that count to 1. So let's kind of do like a dry run of what'll happen in this example. So in the beginning, we can just have a current element be like maybe null or something, or -1 with a count of 0, something like that, just some kind of initializer. So we go to this 2 and we check, is it the same as our current element? No, it's not, it's different. So we decrement the count, but our count is 0. So if our count is 0, that means we want to swap our current element to our element that we're on now. So we'll put in 2 with a count of 1. Then we go to the next 2 and we say, is it the same as our current element? Yes, it is. Increment the count. Then we go to the 1 and we say, is it the same as 2? No, it's not, decrement. Then we go to the next one, is it the same? No, it's not, decrement. Then we go to the last one and we say, is it the same as 2? No, it's not, decrement the count, but the count is negative. So now we want to swap this with the 1. So we can swap it and we can make the count, we can actually do this. We can make the count 1 now, right? Because anytime you swap an element, you're just going to initialize the count to 1. Now we go to this 2. And our count, it's not the same as 1, so our count of 1 is 0. Then we go to this 2, it's not the same, so we replace this 1 with a 2, and we make the count 1. That's basically the idea. So you have, you give it some value like some integer that's not in here, with a count of 0. And basically you just check, is my element that I'm currently on the same as my current element? If it is, increment the count. If it's not, decrement the count. And if the count ever goes negative, then swap out your element in here for the element that you're on. And you're guaranteed to have the best answer to be your current element at the very end. So that's the solution we're going to be coding. And this does work for multiple elements. There is a harder problem of this where kind of same idea where you have 2 elements that occur more than n over 3 times each or something. Same kind of idea, a little bit more complicated, but for one element, it's pretty easy. You just have this kind of thing. So let's code that up. So we're going to have a current element, and let's actually make it like null or something. Yeah, we can make it, we want to make it an element that doesn't exist. I don't think there's negative elements, but I'll just check. So this can be, the elements can be -10 to the 9th to 10 to the 9th. So we'll make it like infinity or something. So current, we'll make it infinity. And our count will make 0. Then we have to loop through numbers. So for num in nums, if num equals cur, increment the count. Otherwise, decrement the count. And if count is less than 0, then we want to swap out our numbers. Then we can say cur equals num and count equals 1. Then finally, no matter what, our number should just be in this current element here. So we can try to return that. So we can say return current element. And like I said, this is pretty easy with one number. And once you see it, I think it does make sense because you just know like your element appears the most times. So because it appears more than anything else, you're guaranteed to have it in here because basically you're adding 1 to the count every time you see it and subtracting 1 every time you don't. But since you see it more often than you don't, it's just going to be in here at the end, no matter what your array is. So yeah, this is pretty good. And now we have a 0 space solution. So time, this is going to be O of n. And space, it'll be O of 1. So now we managed to not use our dictionary and use this thing. And yeah, I think if you want to look up more details, it's called like the Moyer-Bohr voting algorithm. It's pretty rare. I've only seen it in this problem and one other problem in LeetCode. So I wouldn't bother learning it, but know this little trick for this problem. And yeah, it's going to be all for this one. Pretty easy one. So if you did like this one, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.